Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On Point EDC. Today we have a really awesome bladed multi-tool to review for you guys, kind of the granddaddy of all folding pocket multi-tools, the Victorinox Swiss Army knife. So a little bit about the brand. Of course, they were founded back in 1884. They're Swiss-made in origin, and they're best known as being the makers of the original Swiss Army knife. Although the Victorinox brand has grown to actually 5 different product categories. They have Swiss Army knives, they have household and professional knives, they also make watches, travel gear, and fragrances as well. Now, a little bit about this type of tool. Of course, it's a pocket multi-tool, some key common characteristics in sign language when you're looking for a pocketable multi-tool. Of course, you're going to want something that's smaller, that nicer, more trim package that just makes it something that's easy to carry with you, that you don't have to do anything special for, which I think is great. Another bonus of having something like this as a pocketable multi-tool and carrying it around, besides having the extra versatility, the nice thing is it's really non-threatening in social situations. So, I mean, if a kid needs to have something cut at a birthday party and you have to cut a balloon string, you're not whipping out some big flipping knife and scaring anybody. You pull this out, you use the nail nick, you slowly deploy the blades, and nobody's gonna feel really weird about it or threatened, which is really a nice thing, especially considering not everybody is really savvy to knives in general. So this particular model is actually a new release. It's the Farmer X Alox. So what makes it the X essentially is that it has scissors added. I'm pretty sure it makes an X. So I think that's what where the X denotes from. Of course, the Farmer is already a huge classic when it comes to that just campers and bushcraft and that side of it. This is a really solid knife on its own, but then you add in the addition of some high precision scissors, and I gotta say that's really cool. So with all that said, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Okay, now before we pick this up, quick wristwatch check. I'm actually wearing a Victorinox Swiss Army watch, guys. This is the Alliance Mechanical. Keep an eye out on the channel. I actually just posted a review for this the other day, depending on when you're watching this video. So that's what's flopping around on my wrist. Of course, it is totally necessary and customary to be rocking a Victorinox watch while I do a Victorinox Swiss Army knife review. So of course, this was a new release for 2010, and it's based on their medium-sized Farmer knife. It has the high precision scissors added. It, of course, is a multifunctional pocket knife, really timeless design, Swiss-made, and now it has actually 10 functions. And when I say 10 functions, I don't mean 10 different things that stick out that you can pull out of here. It's just 10 functions. So some of the functions are on the same tool, so or the same accessory, if you will. Now the nice thing is you get these great aluminum anodized scales, which are great for grip, and then also just for durability versus your typical plastic red, which is the iconic look. But I think here around the EDC crowd, this is actually the Alox scales are actually starting to become quite iconic in their own right. And then you do have that beautiful pop of red there, you can see on that nice Victorinox Swiss crest. Now, the nice thing is you can actually get these directly from Victorinox's website for under 60 bucks, $59.99, guys, direct. So that means you can probably go get deals from dealers once you start stocking for even less. So, buying them direct, you're good to go. You're not going to be charged an arm and a leg, and you can only expect to pay less once your favorite dealers start having these stocked. So now I want to kind of cover each tool. What I'll do is I'll close these up and you can kind of get a look at each thing individually, and we'll draw each piece out individually. So we'll start with the large blade, which is of course a slip joint. So it's not going to have a walk and talk. It's not going to have a half stop. It's just the basically comes out. It's there, it's locked in. Really nice. Of course, you got that proprietary Victorinox Swiss-made stainless steel. Really nice, super thin behind the edge, but honestly, this is a much thicker blade than you'll find in some of your more compact Swiss Army pocket knives. So really nice to have that, quite robust, and obviously can be easily sharpened. You know, that's the thing. It doesn't have some crazy edge retention, but it has decent blade geometry, and of course, very stainless, so you don't have to worry about any type of tarnishing or anything like that, or rusting, because these things are really something you could have for a lifetime, and even beyond that, they're an easy heirloom, which I think is really great. So really nice ergonomics. Of course, the handle, it's classic. Any type of cut you need to do, you can get it done here. This knife, obviously, because it is a slip joint, there's certain types of cut you don't want to probably be stabbing with this, because you don't want it to close on your hand. That's definitely something to keep in mind. Now, the next item on here that I'd like to show you is the roamer, which is, or reamer, sorry, reamer or punch. And essentially, you can see it actually has a sharpened edge there. So if you wanted to use it as a scraper, that's fine. But really its main purpose is you stick it into either leather or wood, you spin it, and it'll slowly drill a hole in there, which is actually super useful for bushcraft. If you want to make a bow drill or something like that, this is like the perfect tool. And if you're even just into whittling, this thing can be super useful from that standpoint. Just pure function, really great thing to have, you know, as a tool. Now there's also a can opener with a screwdriver. So let's see, here we go. So here's the can opener. As you can see, not a lot of people use manual can openers, but you can. You basically take it out to this side, and then you go all the way around. I'm sorry, I didn't get a can of chili, but the nice thing is you actually get another function as well, because you get that 3mm screwdriver. So with that, this actually, the smaller size will even work for some Phillips head screws as well. So again, you're getting, you know, kind of multifaceted functionality out of an accessory. And then on the other end, you do have this great bottle opener that also has a screwdriver end, or you could even use it, you know, for prying or something like that. And then you have a wire stripper down here at the bottom. And the nice thing is, for this, you do get a half stop, so you can actually use it, you know, to get some leverage, which is nice, versus being kind of tied to trying to do it from this end, and you might not be able to get a lot of leverage here. You can use this, get some torque on it, crank it down, you know, pop something up. It's nice. It's nice that they do thoughtful things like that, like adding that half stop, and not because it's some safety feature, but because more so to just give you a little bit more flexibility in functionality. So I can definitely appreciate that. And then of course we do have the Big Daddy here. We get the wood saw, which is great. You'd be really surprised how useful and how capable these little saws are. And actually, this isn't a little saw. I mean, it's little compared to a full-size saw, but when you think about you know, something that's pocketable every day, I mean, this is absolutely something that you could carry in your pocket along, or you know, or even with a dedicated knife, or in addition to, just to give you that extra capability and functionality. These teeth are great, and really do a great job just slicing in and taking care of business when it comes to chopping some wood and really getting through. And you don't necessarily have to saw through the whole thing. You can obviously saw in some lead cuts and then do some cracking after that. So really useful from that standpoint. And then of course you do have the scissors, which is kind of the big addition here. I'm trying to like look at it from behind the camera so I can pull them out. Here we go. Scissors, really nice. Got the little spring load on there, and they're actually at an angle to where they're considered self-sharpening scissors. And that's the nice thing, is you have scissors. Yes, you have a knife, which is great, but you know what is also great is having an actual pair of scissors when you need them. Again, much less threatening when you pull something like this out. And then if you really want to be safe, you can just actually whip out scissors and cut that balloon string if you need to. And then the last thing is something you probably don't really even think about, is this key ring. So what I typically do is actually I'll attach a suspension clip. So basically a pocket clip that hangs off here, so that once it hangs off of my pocket, it'll suspend this, so it won't be sitting at the bottom of my pocket. It'll actually be hanging kind of like a modern pocket knife. So I do that. Typically that's kind of my trick. You know, those tech accessory pocket clips, I'm a big fan of those. So you can obviously do a quick Google if you're aware. When you look at my Instagram, I'll actually, by the time this thing starts making the rounds, I'll probably already have a clip on there so that I can carry it, you know, more often. Now the nice thing is you have the beautiful construction, and of course it's just one-sided. So this side, you just see those great, you know, basically these lock bars, which look great. I mean, they're technically not locking because they're slips, but you know, it's a nice clean look, uncluttered. And then also because of the thickness versus the width, you know, I don't think it's oversized. I think this is really that limit to where it just feels good in hand, and it's not like you're carrying this big fat thick thing where you're gonna have to clip it to the outside of your pants, you know, on your belt loop, or carry around you know, a dedicated little holster for it or anything like that. This is something that can ride in your pocket with you and be super capable. So I really like it from that standpoint. You know, you do have the great, of course, in-hand ergonomics, and then you have something that's very unobtrusive in the pocket, as well as, hey, look, you're showing that you're somebody that's prepared and capable. You're not going to be scaring anybody. You're not looking like a big knife freak when you whip something like this out. So that is definitely something that's nice. As far as model variations go, there's a ton of different Alox knives that are available. You can actually get the classic Farmer and Alox with no scissors, or you could even get the Pioneer X in Alox. It just doesn't have a saw, but it does have the scissors. So and they're going to be around the same length. I guess some key sizes here we should probably talk about really quickly. They did flash across the screen at the beginning of the video, but I do want to talk about this. The main blade length is 2.7 inches long, so you know, as far as legality goes, you're definitely good to go because it's under 3 inches. The handle length is only 93 millimeters. That's their classic 3.7 inch width. I'm sorry, length there. And then the thickness is only 17 millimeters, which is great. The weight is under 4 ounces at just 3.8 ounces. So this thing isn't going to be weighing down your pockets, pulling your cargo shorts down or anything like that when you're out on a hike or on a trip. So really nice, and you just get a lot of capability out of it, and honestly a lot of peace of mind, which is great because this knife was already a killer option without the scissors. So you add those in there, you're just getting extra added value. So I can definitely always appreciate that. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where it really just kind of perfects an existing model. As far as comparable options go, there's tons of multi-tools on the market. They've really come a long way. Although, you know, Victorinox, they're some of the trailblazers and trendsetters originally. You can get a lot of really great tools that are quite competitive from a functional standpoint. But you know what? Those brands, one thing that they haven't done is they haven't created something, I think, that's really worthy of being passed down quite like a Victorinox Swiss Army knife in general. That whole genre is something that's really, really special. It's something that obviously, although it's very Swiss, it's also pretty American, considering that, you know, it was American GIs back in the day coming back from deployments and stuff. That really made these a popular keepsake by going and buying those, bringing them home, you know, giving them to their dad, giving them to their sons. And it kind of created this real global impact, you know, dating back to the military, which is where these all originated from. So really high quality piece. Of course, again, yeah, it's not some high speed, low drag, you know, dedicated knife. It is a bladed multi-tool, so it's not a pair of pliers that you can whip out a bunch of different things and parts for. It's essentially a knife plus other kind of sharp objects that you might need. But if you're gonna have one, I think this is the one to get. For me, the Farmer X Alox is the perfect do anything, take anywhere option for a modern EDC. With that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you hit like, if you like the video, please do hit like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.